In the next section in our webinar, we're going to look at simple reversals, the difference between a reversal and a refund as far as the system goes, and also we're going to look at how you can do a bulk reversal and payments, which is fully unapplied payments, how you can void off the payments, or even if you do a refund by mistake, how you can void off that refund. So firstly, let's understand the difference between a reversal and a refund. Now, before we get into understanding the difference, let's look at where would you see those options. So I'm going to open up the edit charges screen here, and let's just call up a patient. And let's look at a date which has got some payments applied. So you can see that this date has got a paid amount, which is, if you click on or keep the tooltip or pointer on the top of the payment, you will see that it shows that $80 was applied from insurance and $15 by the patient. Now next there is there's a balance of $20 on this line. Now if you click on the reverse green tilted arrow, it actually opens up a posting activity screen. So let's click on that, and it opens up a posting activity screen. So any lines that have payments or adjustments applied, posted, you would see a posting activity. You can see there are two activities that has occurred on this line. The first activity, which is always the bottom one, is going to be the oldest, and the top one is going to be the newest activity. So the first activity that happened on this line is that there was a $15 payment that was applied, and which is up, as you can see, it was from the patient. So the payment type was copay, and it was applied on this date. So there's a $15 payment that is applied. The next activity is an insurance payment that apply $80 that was paid. There was also an $85 adjustment that was done, which left a balance of $20. And currently the status is billed to patient. Now you would see on the right of these two activities there's a reverse and a reverse refund. The reverse refund is used when you want to reverse this amount and create a refund entry for it. The reverse option plainly just reverses that amount, so whatever amount is applied here, it reverses it back and puts that money back into the payment that it was applied from. So you can see this is a payment number 8527, 1-8527 was the payment that this was applied from. So if we reverse this $15, it just puts that $15 that was applied, it takes that out of the applied and puts it into the on account, which is puts it into an unapplied for that 1-8527 payment. Similarly, if we reverse this $80 paid, it'll go back into this payment that it was applied from and put that money as unapplied. So that's what the reverse does. So that's the distinction between reverse and reverse refund. The reverse just puts back that money, the applied money is returned and put back to the payment as unapplied. So let's just see it in action here. So this is this payment of 1-8527. I'm going to just try to find that payment first in the system. So I'm just going to copy that payment. And I'll paste that payment and hit search. It shows that it's a $15 payment. Applied is 15, and if you click on the applied, you can also see it where it is applied to. So it shows you that it was applied to this date of service, which is a date of service that we opened up on the edit charges screen. It was applied to this 9/14 date of service. $15 was applied. It left a balance of $185 when it was applied, and after it was applied, the next action was also put to bill to be a PR status. So there's zero amount of unapplied on this payment. We're going to go back to that payment activity screen, or the posting activity screen, and we're going to reverse this money. So to reverse it, you can see there's a column here for REV paid, which is for reverse paid, and there's another one for REV adjustment. Now there's no adjustment activity here, so you cannot enter any amounts on the reverse adjustment. But here, if you want to reverse the paid amount, we can reverse either the $15 that was applied or any amount lesser than that. So let's say if I want to reverse this $15, I will enter into the reverse paid field. I'll enter $15 and hit the reverse option. So I'll hit the reverse, and it will put that money back into this payment. So if I refresh this, I'll just hit search here to refresh this payment. Okay, so I'm going to just try this because I think my screen closed off when I did that. So I'm going to just try this again. Reverse paid, hit reverse. Okay, now it did the refresh. You can see now the balance has changed from $20 to $35. And if you now go and search this payment, you can see now zero applied, and the unapplied shows as $15. So it's put that money back into the unapplied. If you look at the applied activity now, you would see that it's got the $15 applied, and also there's a take back now of $15. So going back onto the activity screen, the posting activity screen, you would see there's a third activity that is added, and the third activity shows that the $15 was reversed back. You can see paid take back, or $15 was done, and the balance now is $35. Now let's say if you want to reverse this insurance payment as well, you can do the same thing here on this line, insurance payment. Always you would, when you do reverse, you will always enter the amounts corresponding to that activity. So here I'm going to, and I want to reverse the $80 paid, and also I want to reverse the $85 adjustment. So I enter 80 into the REV paid and 85 into the REV adjustment field. Then the next action, whether I want to leave it as bill patient, I will leave, because that's the only option that shows up on this next action field. So I'm going to leave it on bill patient, and I'm going to hit reverse again. So it's going to reverse that as well. Now you can see the balance is now full amount. The adjustment and payments got reversed. Now if I want to change the status or put it to a different status, or rebill it to the primary insurance, or do any other set any other responsibility, I can do that. Let's go look at this payment. So I'm going to just copy this payment number, and you can see there it shows now that take back activity 80 and adjustment take back. So let's just go find that payment, and we'll see that now that payment has that amount sitting unapplied. So the amount that we reversed, it brought it into the unapplied amount on the payment. So if you look at the payment activity here, you would see that it brought back that payment. Originally it had $40 applied, and then also it had the $80 applied, but now that $80 and 85 adjustments were taken back. So that's actually the reverse option, which puts the money back into the payment. Just reverses the money back into the payment. Now once you have a reversal done to a payment, you can see once the unapplied money is back in there. Now let's say if you want to take this money and apply it back, maybe you want to take it and apply it to another date of service, you can go back onto this payment, click on apply, and apply that unapplied money to whichever payment. Or if you want to edit the payment and make any changes, maybe this unapplied money should not be on sitting on the payment unapplied, you want to change the amount, you can click on the edit and change the total amount on that payment. Now let's look at how you can do a refund of any unapplied money. So let's say there is a payment. Let's look at the first payment that we reversed. So I'm going to just bring up that payment one more time here. So this, you can see that this is the payment that we reversed and it's got the unapplied there. Now let's say this payment has to be either voided off or you want to reverse this payment. So let's say you want to refund this payment back to the patient. So let's say $15 was actually refunded back to the patient. So that's why we reversed out of that. And this $15 that is sitting here, which is unapplied, I want to refund it back to the patient. Of course, you can, if you could always do that reverse refund option to do it in one step, like reverse the payment as well as create a refund entry for that. But let's say there is some payment here which is unapplied and you just want to refund it, find the refund payment and refund it back to the patient. So you can either find that payment from here, or of course you can also find the patient payment from the patient's account itself, from the patient screen. But since we are on this payment enter edit screen, I'll just show it to you from here. The same step is also can be done from the patient screen too, if it is a patient payment. To refund any unapplied money on the patient for our patient payment, click on the refund, the green refund on the right hand side. When you click that, it opens up a screen which shows you, which brings up a field where you can enter the amount that you want to refund. So let's say I want to refund back this $15. I'll hit proceed, and then it'll bring up this screen where it'll have the option whether the refund is back to the payer or you want to transfer this money to an existing payment. You can also transfer the money to an existing payment, but here I want to refund it back to the payer, so I'm going to select to the to payer option, keep it checked on the to payer. Now how am I giving the refund back, whether I'm giving it as cash, check, credit card? I'm going to select that option. Let's say if I issued a refund check back to the patient, so I'm going to just select the method here as check. I'm going to enter the check refund number. And once you have entered that, you can also enter the date that the refund is being issued. So let's say the refund is being issued today, or maybe it was issued last week. We can select the date that the refund was issued. So I'll just select, so let's say if refund was issued on the 18th, I'm going to also leave the accounting date as also the same date. So I'll enter the accounting date. Now if there's any reference number or any other information like comments you want to add for the refund entry, you can enter the comments in there. So once we hit save, it will actually create a refund entry for this amount. So let's save this, and you can see now that the unapplied becomes zero. The zero applied here. The $15 has been refunded. Now if you want to look at, okay, you want to find that refund entry in the system, just click on the edit payment and it'll show you where that or the refund entry that was created. So it shows you this was a refund entry that was created for it. So if you look for that refund entry, you'll see that it's got that $15 negative $15 refund entry in the system. Now let's say we did those refund, but we realized, oh, this refund should not have been done. I did it in error. I want to kind of void off this refund. You can just go to the edit, or uh, now before I show you how to void off the refund, let's just click on the edit here on this payment, and it'll show you, or refund entry, and it'll show you where this refund was done from. So this refund was done from this payment, which is 1-8527. Now let's just go back into to pull up that refund. So as I was saying, let's say we did this by mistake and we want to kind of void off this refund. Just hit on the refund once again here, and it'll bring up that pop-up window, and you can hit just process and it'll void off that refund. So you can see it's voided off that refund entry. Now it's put that money back onto that original payment that it was done from. So we'll just go back onto the payment. You can see now that $15 is back unapplied. Now there is also a bulk reverse option. So I showed you from the line, when an individual line, how you can do a reversal, like a single reversal, by going into the posting activity, entering the reverse amount, which is the paid amount, or the adjustment amount, or both, and you can do a reversal from there. Now there's also a bulk reverse option in the system, which would reverse everything that was applied on the payment. It doesn't give you the flexibility to select what you want to reverse, but if you use that option, let's say there were like multiple payments that were done, activities that were done, or even one single payment activity, instead of actually going into that screen, you can just hit the bulk reverse and it reverses everything that was applied. So let's just find a payment here, which from this search screen. Let's find one of the payments that has got some amounts applied. So let me just look for a wider date range to find some payments. Okay, so let's look at this payment, which has got about $100 applied here. We'll look at how or where it was applied to. So there are multiple payments that this was applied, or multiple lines that this payment was applied. So here we can do a bulk reversal for this payment. You can reverse out everything that was applied in one single step. Just click on the bulk reverse on the right hand side, and it'll bring up a bulk reverse screen, or first it brings up the posting activity screen, which has got a bulk reverse option. So there you can see there's a bulk reverse option right here. If you hit on the bulk reverse, everything that was applied on this payment will be reversed. So if you hit the bulk reverse, so it's going to say, okay, are you really sure you want to do it? So we'll hit on OK, and it's going to reverse everything from that what is applied. So if you go back and look at that payment, so this was the one that we had applied, the 1-2328. You can see everything in there is now reversed. If you look at the activity, the posting activity, you would see that all the payments that were applied were reversed, and you will see the payer remark as reversed by system. So you can do the bulk reverse. If you want to bulk reverse everything that was applied for a payment, you can bulk reverse all of that at one single step. Now let's say if this payment that we were looking at, this $500 payment, or any payments that maybe were entered or was supposed to be not entered, or was not entered right, and you want to void off this payment, you want to delete this payment, you can use the edit option here to void off the payment. You can only void off payments if it has got the full amount as unapplied. If there is any applied amount, you cannot void off the payment. So if you want to void off a payment that you entered, maybe by mistake has to be taken um, out of the system, you would have to reverse everything that you applied, either use a bulk reverse or reverse individually, and then you can hit the edit option here to open the payment. And once the payment is open, you can see on the status, you can change the status from here, new to void, and then hit save to have this payment saved. So that will void off the payment. There's no physical delete option in the system, so you only have a void option, but it is same as deleting the payment. So once you have the payment voided, it will no longer be in the payment reports. It will go away from the payment reports, and you'll no longer see it in the payment reports. So when you run the list, you would see them as void, but these numbers will not show up in the report. So that was all about reversing payments, bulk reversing, voiding off payments, or if you wanted to void off refunds, this is how you could do that.